Now for the static route configuration, we will do the static route. I have told you before, the annoying thing about static route is that you must route forward and backward in all of the devices of the network, in all the routers or the multi-layer switches that you are using as routers. So we will apply config for forward and backward on all the devices. Okay, so first what we will do is that we will use the main path, which will be MLS2 to MLS1 to MLS3 to route the packet this way. If this is the first thing, so we will do it forward and backward, test it. After that we will implement a redundant path using the floating static. For this switch, which is MLS2, I have no idea which switch is this, so I will change the host name for the config, of course, config T, host name, this is MLS2, please. Good, so now it's MLS2 instead of a switch. IP route, the subnet of 6, which is this PC in here, 192.168.6.0, subnet mask of 24 to the IP address, this one, which will be 192.168.2.1. so enter, and that's enough for me. Okay, exit. In here, what I will do is that I will continue config T. First thing will be host name MLS1, and then IP route, continue the path of the 6.0 to send it to MLS3 to this interface, which will be .4.2. Okay, so that's it. Okay, that should be enough, because I have made the packet. Once it go to the default gateway, it will go to this interface. After that, it will go to this interface in here, and that should be enough just for the request to go. And in order to the reply to return back, I must inform MLS3 to send the reply to this router, this multi-layer switch, and inform MLS1 to send the reply back to the MLS2, so it will reach. So in here I will have to issue two commands, because this one is a man in the middle, so it will take this request and it will return back the reply. So I will issue the other command of the reply, which will be destined for 192.168.1.0. so IP route 192.168.1.0, again please 255.255.0. okay, so just let me take use of it. Okay, sorry. Okay, and this will be destined to fast Ethernet 02, which has the IP of .2.2. so this will be .2.2. enter. That's enough for the return. And finally I must route statically the return on this one, on this multi-layer switch. It's multi-layer switch number 3. Okay, so configure terminal. First thing will be host name multi-layer switch number 3, and then IP route. Whoever wants to reply or go back to 1.0 with the subnet mask of 24, please send it to .4.1, the next hop .1. okay, so that is enough. Okay, now PC number 1, PC number 2 should ping PC number 3 to check the reachability. The up arrow command. Let's see how much time will it take before the first reply comes. Okay, this is the first one. Okay. only the last reply, please issue it again. Now I have 4 replies coming to me from the network that I have been pinging. So let's check it by checking the routing table in the first router or at whatever router you want, or a multi-layer switch. So please show IP route, and in the show IP route you will see for MLS2 it's directly connected to 3, that's clear, 3 interfaces, but statically it can reach subnet 6/24 using the ST static route via .2.1. So this is how to route it to the main one, just in case something happened to the path. Maybe this link went off, this link went off, some physical problem occurred, maybe this entire router went off, or whatever reason that might make this path useless or make it down. In static route, it's not like dynamic routes. Dynamic routes do make use of redundant paths automatically without you informing them or configuring them manually. But in static route, what happens when you configure a route statically from this path and it went down, then you will lose reachability, and your network will become, or will be exposed to outage. So in order to do a redundant path, or to make use of the redundant path, we will use the floating static. The concept of floating static is that you will make something less preferred than a static route, but it's more preferred than the other dynamic routes. What I mean by this is that you remember the table of the administrative distance and protocols. Okay, so the directly connected had 0, the static had 1, OSPF, which with the symbol of O had 110, EIGRP, this is a Cisco proprietary protocol, had 90, RIP, which is an old protocol, had 120. Okay, and there is something called BGP, had 200. Okay, so what you will face in here is that, the lesser the value of AD, the more preferred the protocol. Floating static wants you to create a new static route that you will specify manually its administrative distance, and this administrative distance should be something between 1 and the second preferred, maybe 90, because it's the second less number. So it should be a number between 1 and 90. So in case 1 went down from the routing table, maybe 2, 3, 10, or whatever number that is lesser than 90 is available as a floating static, it will be chosen for the routing. Okay, so I will use administrative distance with value of 2 for my floating static, and that will be configured this way. I will go back in here just like I have did before. Okay, please clear it. Just like I have done before, config T, hit the up arrow command. What I have done is that I have routed subnet 192.168.6.0 with the mask of 24 to this path, to this IP, which is this one in here. What I will do now, this is the same command. I'm not erasing or deleting or replacing this command. I will do another command, the second one, because the first one is still valid, it's not deleted. I will route the same prefix, the same IP address with the same subnet mask, but from this other path. But of course, this will be with a higher preference value. A higher administrative distance. Okay, so from this path, it must be routed to .3.1. Okay, so let's make it here .3.1. No, please. Space, shift and question mark, and then give a distance metric for this route, and it should be this number. I will give it number 2 only. Okay, so hit enter, and that's it. This is all you need to apply in this one. Okay, so exit, I will go to this router now. I must configure a static route. Okay, so configure terminal. Oh god, enable configure terminal. I'm not sure. Let's see. IP route. It's either to work or we will have to troubleshoot something. If anyone wanted to go to .6 with the subnet mask, this subnet mask, then send it to .5.2 with the IAD of 2, and anyone wants to go back to .1, then send it to .3.2, 2 again, and finally let's check this into the other switch. I don't want you to hate me because you are the only one with no host name. So MLS 4 and exit. Now in here, config terminal, IP route, whoever wants to go back to .1, .0, send it downward from this path, .5.1, with an AD of 2, exit. So in the normal conditions, when there is no outage and no interface is down, I should have reachability. These are the 4 replies. This is the first thing. The other thing is that when I issue the command of exit show IP route, it will show me only one single static route installed in the routing table, which is the main one that has an AD of 1. Okay, so go back to the computer, go to the command prompt. I will type this time ping -t, which is ping forever, .6.10. This will keep pinging forever. Okay, not just for replies. So I will take it to the side. I will just bring it back in one moment. Maybe for whatever reason something happens in here. Maybe this interface will be shut down for some reason. Maybe it's a physical failure or a cable got cut. Okay, so interface fast Ethernet 01 shut down. Okay, so bring back my PC. It stopped receiving replies. Now request is timeout. There should be another path. No, this method did not work. I was concerning something. Something was really strange about it, because if I have now issued the command of show IP route, it says that there is something new installed with the AD of 2 heading to .3.1, which is this one. Okay, so and in here, if I issue the command, then okay, then it should work. Okay, show IP route. Okay, statically .2. Why it has only a single one? No, this one in here. Okay, that's good. To .3.2, which is this one, and this one in here. That's going to .5.2, which will be this one. And why it's not working? Okay. Show IP route. Oh, why? Is this still showing this? I did configure it, right? configured 1.0 to go to 255 and to use the second AD. It did apply it automatically to all of them, but it didn't apply here. Something is stuck. Okay, let's try to disable this interface, fast Ethernet 02. See if this will solve the problem by removing exit. Yes, it did solve the problem. I can see the ping is back. So it seems that this is a lag. Okay, we will talk about it in just 1 minute. I have something in my mind. Okay, the ping is back, as you can see, and it should show IP route. Now the floating static of the AD equals 2 is showing instead of 1. This happened when this interface was this way. So the first scenario that will work with this case is that if this router went down totally and these two cut it because they went down, these two interfaces shut it down because this router is down, then floating static will work directly at the same time. But what we have done is that we have disabled this interface in here, and MLS3 has no idea about what's happening in here because it can reach MLS1, so why should it replace or use the floating static? Okay, so the first case is that to make use of floating static is to maybe when this router gets down totally. Okay, so floating static will work because this path will shut down, and this path will also be shut down, so both of them are down and the other path will be used totally. This is the first case. The other case that in the future, I want to make use of floating static when an interface gets down, not a router gets down. So to solve this, you can use something called, I believe this will work. You can use something called IPSLA. Okay, and IPSLA has something called a tracker. You can use it with the static route. Okay, you can use static route with something called tracker. This is beyond this course, the blueprints of this course or the content, but you can use static route with a track. Okay, the track is that you will ask this router to track the reachability maybe to this interface through this path. Once it feels that it can't reach this interface, it will do an action, and this action will be maybe by shutting down this port. Okay, so shutting down this port will cause this static route to automatically enable the floating static, and that should be enough for you to make use of the floating static. Okay, so this is how to make use of the floating static. It's either the device to go down, or you can use the track. Okay, the track is not from here. I believe it will be mentioned in the CCNP enterprise infrastructure. Okay, maybe we will do this course on our channel. We will see at the end of this course. So Control and C to stop pinging, and this is the second route. Okay, let's re-enable no shutdown, fast Ethernet 01 also, no shutdown, and this should bring back the main static of AD equals 1. Okay, so this is floating static. In the next lab, I believe we will do what's called IPv6 or static route. Okay, so please do configure and implement this lab and the previous one that on the first scenario I've talked with, which is this one, and after that jump with us to the upcoming lab of IPv6 static route. Okay, thank you for watching.